Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius there doing another action figure review, and today we're having a look at another one of Hiya Toys' exquisite minis, Judge Dredd figures in the form of Judge Cassandra Anderson. She's just called Judge Anderson on the packaging, but her full name from the comics is Judge Cassandra Anderson. Flipping around the back of the box, you've got pretty much nothing other than just legalese stuff. You can see the Dredd badge logo in the background. You have the Judge Dredd logo and the character and an artist interpretation of the character in the corner. And then when you open the box, you have two trays, one with her stand, one with the figure. Obviously, I have the figure already out of the box, but it is the same standard packaging that all the other Judge Dredd figures tend to come in. In fact, I'm just trying to look around to see if I have one of the other boxes to hand, but I don't. I know I did a review for Mean Machine Angel recently, but I don't have these box still sitting around. But we'll bring in a tape measure so we can measure up how tall she is. So she stands just over the 4 inches. She's a little tall. She's about 4 1/4. So she does have similar articulation to that of Dredd, and she comes with a couple of accessories. So I'm going to take the accessories that she can hold and store off her and go through the accessories. So I'll go through the base first because it is the most basic of things. As with all the figures in this line, she comes with a base, and she comes with these bases that are these H clips or I clips, depending on which way you want to look at them. And as I believe these are supposed to be either cursed earth bases or something along a different line. I know some people said it's supposed to be the wasteland where Judge Death comes from. So this is the base that came with Mean Machine. This is the base that comes with Anderson. As you can see, they're identical, just slightly different wash. The one on this is a bit more glossy. The one on this is a bit more matte, but it is the same base. You have those clips that clip things together. But if you have other Hiya Toy bases, I have one of the alien ones, you can clip them together and just make a big display base for figures, or if you want to have your different lines displayed across the board, you can do it that way. The thing about these bases is they're designed to clip in different connections. So you can have this up here, and have this one down here at the bottom. There is 4 connector points, and you get only 2 sets of these clips, but you can put them on either of the connector points and then you can clip them together. So that aside, she does come with the standard Judge equipment, which is the Lawgiver pistol, which has the double. This is kind of more the original comic version. I think it's the Lawgiver 1 as opposed to Lawgiver 2. I could be wrong. I think it's Lawgiver 1. And then you have the baton or the nightstick or billy club, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And then she does come with an alternate set of hands. So the hands she comes with on her default are these gesturing outstretched hands, which do work quite well for her psychic ability kind of poses, because she is part of, instead of having Anderson on her badge, she has PSI on her badge. And what that is it's a psychic division of the judges, because she's technically known as a psychic or a psyker, something along those lines. So she's able to read people's minds and tell whether they're either bad or done something bad or lying to the judges. She's been an integral part of the Dredd storyline for quite a long time. Her, Anderson, Hershey, Dredd, and then some of the chief judges are all kind of iconic characters. One of her most iconic things is that she goes up against Judge Death when he's in his incorporeal form, and she manages to trap him using her psychic abilities. So there is that. I'm going to see if I can pop her trigger finger hand onto her body. It's a little bit tight, but there we go. So as I said, she comes with a trigger finger hand, so she can hold her Lawgiver in her right hand, and the nightstick is designed to sit in her left. She only has the one set of hands. She doesn't have an alternate left hand with a trigger finger and an alternate grip right hand. She just has those outstretched hands. But for articulation, she has pretty much all the same articulation as the other judges. She's just a little bit in a more slimmer line because she's a female character. So she has her head in a ball joint, which is good range movement. Her arm can move up that much. Her shoulder pad does get in the way. You can just about do a 360, but I'd be wary about the eagle popping off. But you can get the arm up that much. She has a bit more clearance on her shoulder than the male judges because of that. She has single jointed elbow with a swivel. I do find these elbow pads tend to move around a bit. It's not a bad thing because you can actually position them the way you want to go with her elbow. The ones on the male judges are a bit tighter as well. Her hand is on a kind of ball joint or ball peg, so you can get some range of movement on it on the wrist, but not a lot. But it is a wrist swivel. She does have upper ab crunch. She has a waist swivel. She has thigh swivel and a splits that much. She can kick forward that much. She can bend her knee with a double hinge. Now there is two versions of Anderson. This is the standalone version. There is a version of her that comes with the Lawmaster motorbike. I don't know if there's any difference between the figures. There might be a different head sculpt and maybe grip hands for the handlebars, but other than that, I don't know if there's much in the difference. You can see she has the PSI badge on her breast there, and then on the back she has this pretty plain detailing. She has knee pads. These don't move like the elbow ones. And then she has the rocker ankle with peg holes on one foot, but she can move her ankles that much. And she is pretty articulated. The left shoulder actually is a little bit more hindered again because I find the right shoulder tends to go more flat to the chest than the left one for some reason. I don't know why that is. It's just the way the design is. Maybe it's because of the shoulder pauldron. It does kind of tend to get in the way. Again, you can move the arms forward. The pauldrons do tend to get in the way a tiny bit because of that. But she has a great range of movement. And she looks quite good alongside her fellow judges. So I'm going to put... this way? No, it's this way. I'm going to put her lawgiver into her pocket and arm her up with her baton. And get her to stand. She stands quite well on her own. So for sizes, I'm going to bring in her other judge counterparts that I have. I don't have all of them. I don't have any of the chief judges. I know Caligula is out, but I don't have him. So there is Judge Giant. Ironically, she's actually taller than Judge Giant, which kind of is a bit funny. And then here she is next to the main lawman himself, Dredd. So she is actually a taller character than the other two for some reason. I'm not sure if that's how she's depicted in the comics. I always thought she was around the same height as Dredd. But I know it's a bit hard to see, but she does look a little taller than Judge Giant at least. Unless maybe if I move his head up a bit. I don't think it's... she seems to be taller than Giant. Dredd seems to be taller than Giant as well, I think. Maybe it's just an ironic name. And then for some villain characters, I don't have any of the Dark Judges to hand, but I do have Mean Machine. So here she is stacked up next to Mean Machine. She seems to be taller than him again. And then for some other Hiya Toys figures, we'll bring in RoboCop. This I believe is RoboCop 1, which has the more purplish tinge to the metal. And then we have City Hunter Predator from the Predator line that they did. Bring in a Joy Toy figure. Here's one of the mechanic guys. He actually works pretty well with the Dredd line because they're kind of just generic looking mechanics, so they can work well with other lines. Here is one of the Joy Toy Warhammer 40,000 Krieg soldiers, which are the kind of more human sized characters. And then for a non-human sized character, from the 40k universe. We'll bring in one of the Black Templar Marines. So you can see, I'm going to put them in behind because they're big and chunky. You can see the height, and there goes the Predator. You can see the height of this guy. You see, I always had issues with these guys standing. Their feet are a bit floppy. So, there, and you see if we have one other figure. We have one of the Batman from the Spin Masters line, just to have him there. I know he's blocking her, so we'll just try and move him off to the side here. So we have a good range of figures from different lines and different sources, and you can see the scaling. She scales well with quite most 3¼ inch, 4-inch scale lines, so there is that. All in all, I do like the Hiya Toys Dredd line. They've had some issues in the past. I know some people think Dredd's head looks way too small for the figure, and people have corrected that. Personally, I don't mind the size of Dredd's head. I think across the board they don't look too bad. He does look pretty cool, but if it's a toss-up between this version and the motorbike version, the motorbike one is a good bit more expensive, so it depends on your preference. As I said, I don't know if there's much difference between the equipment that you get with the motorbike version. You could just get the Lawgiver and the bike, and you don't get the Billy Club and some of the extra hands. I would imagine that's not the case. I'd imagine they kind of give you a good few bits. But all in all, it is up to yourself which version you want. I do like this version. I'm hoping to get the Judge Hershey figure. And eventually I hope to get the other judges that they plan to release as well. And that's pretty much it for this figure. I mean, it is good. I do recommend it. But again, if you want to wait, I know at the time of this recording, the motorbike one, or Lawmaster one, is just hitting. So you might want to wait and get that one over this one. And there's also a Dredd on Lawmaster, so if you want the two of them in their kind of iconic role of them driving around Mega City, one of their Lawmasters, it's up to yourself. But I do like this one. It is a cheaper option as well, so if your budget is not in it for the bike, then go for this one. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a great day. Cheers, guys.